Okay, it's recording. Sorry. All right. What's up, guys? Welcome to our youth engagement series. I am your host, Chris. With me, I have our three guests. We have our new, God, we're going to do that all over again because I fucked that all up.
Should we introduce ourselves?
No, I'm going to, I had to say that Charlie's not going to be here, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to introduce Amada. Oh, tell him that Charlie's not here because he had a kid. Great job, Charlie.
Don't include that, though.
Oh, yeah, I can't, huh?
No, don't.
Charlie is taking a leave of absence.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready? Take two, take
Yeah.
four, whatever. What's up, guys? Welcome to our youth engagement series episode. I believe it's 7. Not sure. With me, I have some of my fellow Two Feathers co-workers. Charlie is not here with us. He has gone on a little break, so he will be back soon. But with me, as always, is Amada. Amada, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good today, Chris. Trying to enjoy the weather outside while being able to do these meetings. So I got the curtain open with the lights on the sun right on me, about the closest I can get right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Very nice, very nice. So with while Charlie is gone, we have a new co-anchor, Miss Ellen Cogrove. So Ellen, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a nice sunny day here in McKinleyville, and I'm just trying to process things, and I'm happy we're talking about this today.
And our last guest is one of our clinicians, Live. How are you doing, Live?
Hey, I'm doing good. I think, it's been a long week. It's been a long couple weeks, actually, but I'm happy that the sun's out. I'm happy that we're talking about this today. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to have all you guys here. Happy you guys talking with me. We have kind of a sensitive, not a sensitive, but a deep topic today. We are going to talk about what is going on in the world. And we're also going to try and kind of bring the light to the hope and what we plan on doing in the future and how we can change what's going on. So we chose not to go live today because, today we're recording this on Tuesday. Let me rephrase that. We were recording this on Tuesday and we decided not to go live due to the blackout Tuesday and kind of being in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter and what they have going on. But we still wanted to talk about what's going on and talk about what we've been doing and what we can do in the future, and how hopefully have you guys who are watching this have some ideas of what to do. So we are here to kind of talk about what's going on in Eureka or in Humboldt County, as well as throughout the world. So are you guys ready?
Yep, let's get started.
All right. So my first question to all of you guys is just, what have you guys been seeing? What have you guys have been hearing, and what have you guys been doing to kind of how has that been affecting you so far? Mada, I'll start with you since you're my co-host.
Well, for me, I thank you for asking that too and just taking interest. But for me, I've kind of been having to stay inside and be careful about who I'm around. So that's caused me to not really be able to go and protest in the way that I might do so. I've done the Women's March was the only other one that I've really done, and some of the No Dapple, but very small. It wasn't huge, just kind of. So, but it's been nice to be able to voice. I feel like social media has done a lot more in this round that I've seen in protesting a lot. I feel like this is a huge standpoint. I think that's one thing we wanted to touch because this is our social media page too for all the youth that are watching. And I think that's something that we need to pay attention to and kind of see how people are reacting to this, and not necessarily judge other people, but just see the viewpoints of other people and the way that some people see and how it might not necessarily match up to some of the way that we outlook on this. And I know as Two Feathers as a whole, we have kind of all taken in a solidarity, at least from my standpoint and a lot of us fellow cohorts talking today. But I think that's just been really nice to have that comforting feeling, kind of, that the people around me are kind of taking charge and feeling that empowerment within themselves as well. But for me, that's pretty much it. I've tried to do my rounds of social media, but also kind of try to do it in real life too, like paying it forward, making sure you stand up for other people. I was in school while the Josiah Lawson case happened too. He would actually pass me. I didn't physically like have him in classes and know him, but my friends knew him or friends with him. I even was actually invited to a gathering at the same house that it happened with, but later on I chose not to go because of situations. But it's just stuff like that where you're scared of stuff now. You don't even want to go out just because you don't know in that situation. And he also is a person of color, African American. But I know that's a lot of what Humboldt's talking about too, and a lot of the students at HSU. So I think it's just a platform for students as well as youth and just the leadership. I think this is a good time to talk about it all.
That was great. Ellen, what have you been doing with this situation? How has that been affecting you?
Can you guys hear the lawnmower behind me?
Nope.
Okay, good. So lately I've just been trying to figure out how to be like the best ally that I can be, because I'm not Black, but I do have Black friends and I support the community, and I want to figure out like what I can do as an individual and not talk over others. And so I don't necessarily feel comfortable talking about this subject, but I'm glad that we can hash through it and help our youth figure out little things that I know myself. And so I've been doing a lot of research, I've been reading a lot, and just like reposting things and trying to educate family members and friends and whatnot why we should be talking about this and why it's so important and why Black Lives Matter. And that should be so simple, but that's where we're at. So yeah, just been trying my best to help as much as I can from my own tiny perspective in this.
It's great. Live, how about you?
It's like how we've been kind of handling everything. Yeah, I think for me it's just a lot of heaviness right now. But I think trying to get as like active and how I can help is something that I've been really like trying to do. I went to the protest in Eureka, not on Saturday but on Sunday, and it just felt really good to be able to do something other than just sit at my house. And I know the limitations around this time too, because like COVID and like who you're living with and everything. So I think for me it's like, fortunately, I don't live with someone that can get affected right now by COVID, or maybe that are sensitive to that. So I think being able to go out to protest and like really just show like support and everything was really helpful for me and like personally. And just trying to, like what Ellen said, like read a lot, get really well known with everything that's been going on right now. And just reposting, I think what Amada said too, of like, using social media as a platform right now has been really, it's been feeling really like unifying with a lot of people, especially when there's so many people like standing up and rising to this really important topic. So I think trying to just, find the hope in all of this like really chaotic, sad time is like what I've been trying to do. And as much as I can, like donate and like try to go out to protests and everything. So, and also confronting the people in my lives, that I'm constantly around that don't have the same views or don't feel like it's that important. So really trying to make a voice for the ones that don't have one, but yeah.
Yeah, that's those are all great things to be doing. I know that me, this is it, of not saying it affects me differently, but it is something that hits really, really close to home for me, because I am a Black man, and I have, as well as Native person, I've also been kind of experienced some this type of stuff my entire life, and I feel like now is maybe the best time for us to get out and get our voices heard. And I believe the best way we can do this is together, and as not just people of color, but as human beings. So we decided to do this as a platform for us to talk about it and to for us to say that, yeah, these things are happening, but we are going to do whatever we can to make sure they do not happen anymore. We can make sure we can do whatever we can to make sure that there is hope for the future for the kids that we are working with now, the youth, as well as the youth that come after you guys, whether they're my kids or any other kids. Like, this is a platform to bring everybody together. And I know that there are certain people that are trying to say that this is a bad thing, and some people may be trying to take advantage of what's going on, but at the core, this is something is meant to bring us all together. So that brings me to my next question for you guys: is just, how do you think, for our youth, how do you think they can help bring people together? How do you think they can help someone in this, during these times and in this situation? That's my question. If you guys think it'll, if you have any other questions, we're gonna edit this part out because I fucked that up. But I'm gonna do this again. My question to you guys is, what can you guys tell our youth to? I need some help with this, guys. I can't get a good question. I was trying to say, like, how
trying to
you
ask, like, what are ways youth are speaking out, or what
Yeah.
are ways that we can get them to speak out? Maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So my question to you guys is, how, for our youth that are in that are trying. Jesus Christ. Good thing this is live, or I'd fuck us all over. So my question for you guys is, for our youth who are trying to show support and be together with people, what suggestions you guys have for them, and how can they show their support, and how can they talk to people who maybe are trying to bring us apart? How can they correctly talk to them? Amon, I'll start with you.
My suggestions, this is all just suggestions too of what I've done. I just try to stand with people that I feel need to be spoken with just naturally, and stick up for that in this general sense. So this has been kind of not easy for me to stand behind, but it's just something that I've seen of, like, yeah, I feel like this should be something that easily should be, like, said and done. But for me, I think it's just having that power within yourself to be able to feel like, where do I stand on this subject? And if you can't answer that yourself, you have to kind of further research that more. I think that's just the biggest viewpoint. I've even told my younger siblings too. It's like, well, where do you stand on this? Where do you see the stuff? And other thing is, try to see other people's viewpoints. Why are people upset? Like, for instance, the riots are a huge part of this thing right now. People are upset about them happening. Other people are saying this needed to happen because it's just been broiling, and it's to show a point that this is. And so I think I see both sides again, but I also, like, don't agree with looting. What is the looting causing? You know what I mean? That's also stealing. I've seen from even going kind of back in history, if people don't know, like the Rodney King riots in 92, if you guys look that up too, they have people that's had, like, African Americans that lost their businesses because people were taking just everything out in their path. And I don't think that, I saw a very sad video about that. And it's just, I think there's a lot of viewpoints to really research, kind of see your standpoint and really think about that. And and maybe ask people that are close to you where they stand, what they think about it, and just really gather that self for your knowledge, because it's not really about who's right or wrong in this situation. I think it's more about what is a human being, what would you like to be treated, literally, how would you like to be treated? And I don't think the color of your skin, just speaking of a person of color, I don't think that should be something that I would want somebody to look at for me and justify myself and treat me differently. So that's, I just put myself in people's shoes too. That's another thing.
Yeah, putting yourself in people's shoes, big. Making sure that you guys can talk to about another person's, whether you don't see that person's view or not, being there and being there with another person is very, very big. Ellen, what are your views on this?
I wholeheartedly agree with Amada that you should definitely take time to think about what your views are and what influences your views, where you get your opinions from, and also to take the time, if you disagree with someone, to take the time to research online or ask professionals like why is this like this, so you're more informed, so you know the facts behind what is actually your opinion, because sometimes opinions are kind of just fallacies and you don't want to be that person that has an opinion from nowhere. And I really like that Amada talked about like putting yourself in someone else's shoes. You wouldn't want to be discriminated against or see your family discriminated against for no other reason than racism, you know. And so what you can do as a youth is, I know we talk about school and whatnot, educating yourself, and it's such a good thing, but especially in these times, like you need to be educated on what you're going to talk about and who you're going to talk to that about, so that you can help other people understand the real stories and what's really going on today. So just get educated, get your sources in a list, and start spitting out those facts.
Leva, yeah, what do you think on this situation?
Well, I definitely agree with both what Amanda and Ellen were saying. You know, it's do your research, you know, get educated, look up, seek out, you know, other professionals' opinions, or, you know, just or other people's stories. I think a big one for me is like just listen, you know, just show up and just listen and be there and be present with whoever need, you know, whoever that may need, like that need may be for that person, you know. I a lot of, you know, a lot on social media is a lot of just hate, you know, and a lot of just different points of views. And you know, for me personally, I try to really keep a really open, like open mind and open opinion to everything. And I think that in this situation, since there are just so many like just sensitive topics and feelings and emotions like going around, it's just like just to listen and just to be there and be present, and you know, and just realize your own privilege, you know, and look into yourself and just realize and understand where you're coming from, like a lot what Amada and Ellen said. Um, but yeah, I think just being there as a person of support, you know, for someone can go a long way. It goes back to that whole like putting yourself in the other person's shoes and just showing that empathy that, you know, even though you don't know that particular struggle, you know, you can still relate to like the feelings because they're there. But yeah.
Those are all, I agree with all you guys wholeheartedly. The goal for justice is a goal that everybody has, whether you're Black, white, Indigenous, Latinx. All of us have that goal for justice, for equity, and for working together for a better life. Where things might get kind of iffy is what people believe and how they believe their life is compared to other people. And it is on us, especially our youth, and on us to say that, like, I am not better than anybody. Nobody's better than me. We are all human beings first. And we are all here for the same common goal, which is trying to do what's better for ourselves as a human race. So the next question I have for you guys is kind of how to be an ally to these uh, Black people or the African American people who are going and living this stuff in their daily life, and how you can help change what is going on, whether it's through protests or through working with Black communities. How do you guys see yourself being these allies to these Black people?
For me personally, I think it's just kind of what we already talked about, just speaking up, and speaking up when you think the time is right, which I think is now. It's huge. And not just because somebody like somebody died at the hands of another police officer, but just the racial injustices that go around all together, not just police brutality, but like this is a huge one, but racism in general, because now I'm seeing stories from Lost Coast and all of this, the local news stuff, that even there was, I think it was Mexican or Latina, they were walking in McKinleyville and people were like, something about Mexicans, just something really harsh and just not needed. And it's like, why is that happening? Because right now it's this huge thing about it's all brought to light right now and what this topic is. And so I think that's just something to acknowledge when you see it, stand up. If there's kids, I think big thing for me when I was in middle school, high school, grade school, there were times when I would see bullying happening. And I consider this a major form of bullying. It is huge. But if I think you see it in school, speak up. Say, like, not necessarily make it a confrontation, but just make it like, how do you think they would feel? Like, there were times in high school I would stand for that and I would speak up, even in sports, because I played a lot of sports and people would be mean to some people who aren't that as much skilled. But I just think of it in all aspects. How would you and what is that 30 seconds of making fun of them going to do? They might remember that the rest of your life, but you're not. It's just going to be another, I picked on them, but you might you literally can hurt somebody for the rest of their life with the way that you say your words and what you do. And so I think that's just the biggest thing, is really think about your actions and see how you can be an influence to others. I think that's huge.
Yeah, our actions have big consequences on what you do for people. Ellen, what are your views on that?
I forgot the question.
Shit, I think I did too. Oh, how can you best be an ally to these people who are going through and struggling with this police brutality or injustices? How can you be an ally to these people?
I think as a youth, you don't have as much responsibility as we do as adults to put ourselves out there and donate and really take on the role of getting rid of discrimination and racial inequity. But as a youth, what you can do is talk with your friends that say racist things and that are bullies. Talk with them and let them know that these things will never be okay, and just use your voice. If you use your voice and there's repercussions, you can always come and talk to us as mentors and we'll help you with that support. And you can talk to your counselors or therapists, but you have a voice and people are definitely listening to you. And so just remember that people are listening to you as a youth, and you hold knowledge and use your voice the best way that you think you can. Research and then just put out there what you think is right for your friends to be an ally.
Levi, what do you have on this situation?
Yeah, I think it's I think the world right now is really, I wouldn't say putting pressure, but they're really looking at this next generation of kids to really come up and rise and be the voice of reason and to really change things. And I'm really, really rooting for that, And so I think with the youth today and being able to take their own actions, like Amada and Ellen both said, using your voice or, looking at different things that you could do, even if it's at your house, like donating or being able to do more outside research. But I think essentially it comes down to just, if you see something that doesn't sit right with you and no one's saying anything about it, speak up, because I think a lot of the youth today, they have even more of a bigger platform than the adults today, just because we're really rooting for them to bring this new hope into this next generation. And with that being said, I also want to say of never put yourself in an unsafe situation though. if you see something happening and you don't feel comfortable doing it, maybe, you know, follow your gut. But if you can see a situation and you have the means to be able to do something about it, I think, you know, that would be the best way. But also remember that you need to keep yourself safe first, because if you don't, then that's another voice lost, and we don't want that either.
Yeah, that everything you guys said was right on point. You all make excellent, excellent points. You guys are at home or youth. You are someone that you guys are not only the reason that we do this, but you guys are what we why we do this. You guys are the ones who are going to be in the future. You guys are the ones who are going to be taking up that fight that we need. I know me as a Black man, the best that I wouldn't exist without allies. I wouldn't exist without my mom being there for my dad in and any time we needed it, and me and my brothers being there for each other when they needed it. And that's kind of the same thing, but on a national and a global scale. Our brothers, our sisters need our help, and it is on us to speak out for against the bullies and speak out against the injustices that we're seeing. So whether it's through something as simple as a hashtag or a Twitter post, or you even reading and getting educated on the topic, everything you've done has been excellent and progress. So please keep it up, and please keep doing what you guys are doing to help call out injustices. And you guys, even Amada, Ellen, and Leve, all you guys are doing great things to kind of help show that Two Feathers is for racial equality, racial equity, and we are not for injustice. So I thank you guys for that. We have about 2 or 3 minutes before we have to wrap it up. But is there anything else you guys want to say on this topic, or anything you guys want to tell our kids to have hope for the future?
Well, we can kind of lead into our speaker for tomorrow, if that's okay. I was going to touch on that, but we have, I believe, what is her full name again, Chris? Just so I got it correctly.
Rosemary Grady. She is an activist. She is Black and Indigenous. She's an activist that organized, one of the organizers of Sunday's protest in Eureka.
And we recently spoke to her on the phone just before this interview with ourselves here, and she was very intrigued, wanted to do this tomorrow. So I believe it's going to be a really good interview. So if you guys want to tune into that, she's also one of the leaders for kind of putting the protests together, I believe, and just being kind of in the forefront of this movement here, at least in Humboldt County. And I know there's a lot of youth out there. I've been seeing the pictures of people who are going out there, even Native youth actually too. So I think that's another way, if it's safe for everybody in your home, that's, and this is something that you're interested in, she's somebody that could possibly be somebody to look at, to lead movements, little stuff that you guys are seeing, especially in this time of COVID. But it's also very important to be respect like your elders and the times of this situation too, because it's protesting again isn't the only way that we can get our voices out there. But Rosemary's gonna bring a lot of, I think, interesting viewpoints to this tomorrow.
Yeah, make sure you guys please check that out, or I guess today, since you guys will be seeing this on Wednesday the 3rd. But make sure you guys check that out at 1. We'll be going live with her. Ellen, is there anything you want to say before we end this?
For hope, like I said, your voices do matter, and you have a responsibility in your core to care about people. That's kind of like our traditions. We care about our community, and society today is our whole community. Everything affects us. And so if you have the means, speak out. If you have the means, research, and things will change. I mean, I know it takes a long time. It seems like it was such a long time ago, but it was only 50 years ago when people were still being hurt because of their race. So as in I'm talking about like governmental laws and whatnot, but there's still a lot out there, and the more informed we are, the more that we can do to fix our communities and fix our people.
Yeah, that's perfect. The more educated we are, the better we can help everybody. Leva, is anything else you want to say on that?
Yeah, just it goes beyond, it goes beyond one individual. It goes to the whole humanity as a whole. So if you believe in something and you want to speak to that, like I said, if you're safe and you can, definitely do that. I think, yeah, the youth right now today have they have a lot of power right now, and you're able to do a lot of great things if you use that power productively. So I can't wait to see what this next generation is able to rise up and stand against. And yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, all you guys, everything you guys said was great. Well, and I will end this by saying that all of my youth, all of you guys that I have, you guys have impressed me so much with what you guys have been doing. Everybody my age and younger and even older, seeing this bring people together despite all the media and everybody saying that this is not good. We have been voicing our opinions and voicing our having our voices heard, and that's the best you guys can do is get your voices heard. We are gonna be live with Rosemary Grady tomorrow. Today at 1, because this is gonna post tomorrow. I hope you guys are here with us for that. We're excited to have her, and we're excited to continue this topic of hope and continue this topic of the future, which you guys are. So on that note, I'm gonna say see you guys at 1 for the live session, and see you guys later. Hopefully we start seeing you guys in person soon, because I miss you guys. Also that please be safe with COVID, all this stuff happening. Please be safe, and I will see all you guys. I will see you guys later. Peace.